Morning, everybody. Tobin here, 5M Family Homestead channel. Thanks for watching today. So, wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about what we do and what we've learned and how we go about raising pigs on our 1 acre homestead. So we have a very, very small 1 acre homestead. You see most of it there behind us. We do not live on a large piece of property, but we still manage to raise pigs, meat chickens. We have our laying hens. You can see some of them back there behind me. And specifically today, I just want to talk to y'all about pigs and maybe encourage some of y'all that do have a small piece of property that you can raise pigs on it, and it can be done. It can be done in a humane way. So as you can tell, we have 3 pigs. Go around to the other side. The pen here. This is the larger part of the pen. So it may be hard to tell, but the pen goes behind our garden shed there, and then the larger portion of it is back on this side back here. They do have a lot of trees back there for shade. All right, y'all, before we get any farther into this video, we have some pig videos on our channel, on our Facebook and YouTube channel, and specifically on Facebook, we have some that have gone, I would say, viral and done really well. And so I want to address a few things before we get too far into this video. So listen to this part. If you're offended, if what you've seen so far bothers you, listen now, and I'll set it straight for you. This pen behind me is approximately 550 square feet. We do not pasture raise our pigs. Please hear me. There's no pasture here. We have 1 acre. So we don't have that ability. So this pen, 550 square feet behind me, approximately 180 square feet per pig for 3 pigs. If that bothers you, do a quick Google search for square footages recommended for pigs, not pasture raised pigs, but just production facility pigs. You get a lot of varying information, but the number goes all the way down to 8 square feet per pig. So going off of the lower number that I found, if you Google 8 square feet per pig, you could fit 68 pigs in this pen behind me. 68. So now I don't agree with that number. I think that's too low, but I think what we have our pigs in is a fair amount. They have plenty of room to move around in. So again, I hate to beat it down, but if this behind you offends you or bothers you, I can assure you that the pork that you're buying at the store, those pigs are not raised with this much room to move around. It's much, much less. One last thing that a lot of people seem to be bothered and triggered by is how can we raise these animals as pets and then ultimately slaughter them and eat them. For us, it's a mindset, it's a mentality. These are not pets. They never came here with that intention. They are for food. All right, y'all, now that I got that out of the way, I just wanted to say that up front so we're all on the same page here. Here's what we learned and how we do things. We have a small shelter for our pigs that we built. That's a temporary shelter. We're planning on getting a bigger one. They move it around, they push it around all the time, but they can get under it if it rains. Like I said earlier, this entire pen has trees above it, so they have plenty of shade. They are never in direct sunlight unless they want to be, and they have to come out here on the edge of the pen. So we have never had to put up a hot wire. There are people that put up a hot wire to keep pigs from rooting underneath the fence. We thought we were going to have to with these 3, and the reason it hasn't happened yet is you can see there's a wet spot right there, every day we spray that area right there, kind of in the center part right here, with water, and give them a chance to wallow, which they want to do that. In like a production facility, those pigs are on concrete their entire lives. But pigs want to wallow, they want to root and do that. So if you provide them with a place to do that, it prevents them from rooting around as much in other places and keeps them from going underneath the fence. Well, I'm still on the fence about this, but raising the pigs, one pig versus multiple pigs, some people believe that when they are, when there's 2 or 3, that they're less likely to root and less likely to try to get out. I don't know where I stand on that. This is our first time to raise more than one. In the past 2-3 years, we've only raised 1. This time we're raising 3, and 2 of those 3 are already bought by somebody else, some friends of ours, and they are going to, we're just raising the pig for them, and then they will get the meat once the pigs are processed. But still on the fence about whether one or multiples is the right way to go. But we wanted to try this as an experiment, and so far it's not going horrible, but just not 100% sure where we stand on it. So another big thing for us is just automation, and how I guess you would call it automation, how we feed and water. I have this water that I made. It has 1 nipple on it, so you can't water them like in a trough or anything. They'll flip it over. So you've got to do something like this where they can't, they can't flip it over. And they will, when we don't water their pen down, if it's been like today, it needs to be watered now. And a lot of times when it gets to that point, they will come over here on that little nipple, and they'll just clamp down on it and let the water run out on the ground so they can try to lay in it. So they want to be where water is, and if you put it in a trough, they'll flip it right over and start rooting around in it. So another thing we have is this, it's a free feeder. It's a gravity fed feeder where they can get feed at any time, and that feeder will hold 50 pounds. At some point we may upgrade to one that will hold 100 pounds, and it's essentially like, it's like 2 of them side by side, but it's one whole unit, and that way they can, more than one can get in there at a time. Another thing that we do, and people complain about it on our videos, you'll see in the pen we have some rocks, little pieces of concrete, some old like topped off fence posts pieces down in there. We leave those in there on purpose. Every time you come down here, those will be in a different place. The pigs will push them around with their nose. They'll actually bite on them and move them around, and it just kind of gives them something more to do. So we leave stuff like that in there for them. I know it's not the most attractive thing, but it's in there for a reason. I've also heard, and I want to try this out, but I've heard people put bowling balls in there for them, and they'll just push them around and play with them and stuff. So another thing that we do, and we just started doing this on these 3 pigs, is we buy our feed in bulk. So we have a feed mill that is in a town about 45 minutes north of us, and they will run you, like you can call them on Tuesday and tell them you want a half a ton of pig feed, and they will run it that week, bag it for you, and have it ready for you by the weekend so you can pick it up. So with this feed, I showed it to you earlier out there, this is a peanut Milo based feed, and this saved us depending on where you buy your feed at. If we buy the feed locally here at our feed store, it saved us $8 a bag. If we buy it at home or Tractor Supply, about $7 a bag. So it's a significant savings. Now we have it here in my shop. My shop does get a mouse in it occasionally. The doors are not airtight. So I put my mouse traps out. We have mice poison, little bait station poison things. What do you call them? These little things to prevent rodents. If you're worried about rodents, a lot of people put them in 55-gallon drums. You can buy those relatively cheap, and you just pour the feed in there and then seal it, and then nothing's going to get to it, and then you can just transfer it out into your feeder. This is a game changer as far as the cost. It's saving us a significant amount. We are, on the 2 pigs that we're raising for other families, we're not making a profit on those per se, but we are using the money that we're making off of them to cover our pig. So essentially, in the end, our pig will be free or close to being free. Raising those pigs should cover the processing and the feed for our pig. All right, last thing, where do you get the pigs at? We buy our pigs. We have a family friend that has a show pig facility, and they raise dozens, hundreds of show pigs, hundreds each year, dozens at a time, and they breed them, they raise them, and then ultimately are show pigs. A certain number of those pigs don't make the cut for show quality for whatever reason, and he sells those pigs, the piglets, or sometimes the bigger ones, at a significant discount, and that's how we buy them. So those 3 pigs were, I want to say, about 60, 75 pounds when we bought them, and we bought all 3 of them for $100. He'll sell us the little piglets for usually about 20, 30 bucks. So, I know there's a lot of homesteaders that are into raising, like I would say, I'll call them exotic breeds, but like the coonies and things like that. No knock to them, but those pigs, if you go looking to buy those, you're gonna drop some money on them. The coonies and some, I can't even remember the names of some of the other ones, but those are gonna be much more expensive. So we go with these pigs. The meat is phenomenal, and we have no complaints at all, and it saves money. So I would recommend looking in your area, trying to find a show pig facility, and see what you can come up with from buying their culls. They call them culls from them. I hope this video was helpful for y'all. If it was, do us a favor. If you're on YouTube, go down below and hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, hit the follow button. It just helps us, helps our videos get seen. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer them. I'm not an expert. We are not experts. We are definitely learning as we go. So if you have any constructive criticism or suggestions, we're all ears. And again, we'll try to help anybody we can answer any questions. So just leave them in the comments. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all again.